Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Wow, that sounds so weird. I cannot believe all of the feedback I had gotten to my first video. So now I'm all excited to keep going. So what I thought I'm gonna do is showing you my top pen and ink combination for the first half of the year. And there are gonna be some surprises. I was very surprised when I looked through my little Hobonichi week. So this Hobonichi weeks, this has been totally inspired by Simone. I'm using this to track every day that I journal. So every day that I journal, I write down the pen that I'm using, the ink that I'm using, and then just a little bit of something of how much I like it, don't like it, just a little comment about it. And so I just went through this and put some little notes in here to show you my favorites of the year so far. So the very first one that I used for quite a while this year is the Pelikan M400 in white tortoise with a medium nib. And that one was filled with Dominant Industry Ginger Chicken. And you can see here, it says like, just love it, love affair, and then there's more of this. So let me show you. So the ink was Dominant Industry Ginger Chicken. And that's actually this very, very cute bottle. So Dominant Industry Ginger Chicken, if I see it like this, I'm like, nah, it's not really, I don't know, it's not like, wow. But when I write with it and the shading, look at that shading, I really like it. I really like it. And so for those of you who don't know, so Ginger Chicken is you cannot see it, but it's a Wonder Pens exclusive. And Wonder Pens is one of my favorite stationery stores in Toronto. I'm in Ontario, Canada, so it's one of the stores local to me. And they have two cats, and they have a ginger and a gray cat. And so the Ginger Chicken ink is in honor of their ginger cat. And the pen that this was inked up with that worked so well is my gorgeous, gorgeous M200, Pelikan M200 in white tortoise. This one has a medium gold nib, and I love the feel of this nib. And I use this one posted. It's a piston filler. And the only thing is that eventually it gets just a little narrow. So eventually my hand cramps up when I write for too long. The M200s are just a little bit too small for me, but I love this pen. So this was this combination and I absolutely loved it. So let's leave this here. So the next one, if we're going through here, is the Twispy 580 in Iris with a bold nib and Ferris wheel press stroke of midnight. Amazing combo. Even with shimmer, it writes wet and juicy. Not most spectacular color ever. And so this is one, I included it here because I loved how this ink made the pen and the nib feel, or made the nib feel. The writing experience was outstanding. But over time, I got a little bit bored of the color. That happens with me very quickly. There's really nothing wrong with the color. I just get bored of colors very quickly. So just to show you, so this is, I had this as a sample. So this is Ferris wheel press stroke of midnight. And you can see the really nice shading and the really nice shimmer. It's really nice, but sometimes those black blues, they just don't float my boat all the time. But the pen that I used with this one was my Twispy 580 with Iris. I love the Iris color. It makes me happy. With a bold nib. And I often syringe fill this one, and by opening just up the entire section. I have so many small samples where the piston fillers are sometimes just not my best friend. And so this combination worked really, really well. Okay, Next one, let's see what we have here next. The next one is probably absolutely my favorite of the first half of the year. And that was, I'm going to show you, it's my Leonardo Momento Zero in Blue Hawaii. And I got this one originally, let me show you. So this is the Leonardo Momento Zero in Blue Hawaii. And this one actually is an older version, so it's not the 2.0, and this one still has a cartridge converter. And I actually like the cartridge converter, I'm not gonna lie. I do like my cartridge converters. And this one came with I ordered it, it didn't come, with a medium nib. And when I got it, I was actually not very impressed by this nib. I'm very picky when it comes to my nib. I like very soft, juicy flows. And what then happened is I ordered a Broad Architect nib from Toronto Pen Company, and that is Salman Katak, who grinds those nibs. And I ordered this Yovo number 6 nib and then realized I could actually put this in. So this is back to the original, but the way I loved it was with that Broad Architect nib from Toronto Pen Company. And I love the feel of this. It just fits perfectly in my hand. I can write for a very long time. My hand doesn't cramp up. And I love this color. It makes me think of vacation. And it was filled up with Pilot Iroshizuku Ama Iro, which is just one of my favorite inks. It's just so fun. I just love this blue. So just to show you here, right? So this is Pilot Iroshizuku Ama Iro. And I love it, I love it, I love it. And so you can see here, it's actually kind of funny. It amuses me at least. I go, love this combo. Still a total love affair. The best ever. Love. So it's just still a total love affair. So this was absolutely I loved it. Absolutely loved it. So this is my Leonardo Momento Zero in Blue Hawaii with Ama Iro. And then that's where it's going to become really interesting and very surprising. So the next one that I found that was love this inks. It goes like, love this ink and this little cheap pen. And you're going to see where this is going. So the pen that I loved is my Platinum Preppy Blue. Ha, be blown away. I could not believe that this made my best of. It's a really cheap pen. It's the medium. And what I do with my Preppies, I have a few. I did convert them into eyedroppers. So let me get this out of the way for a second. So you can see here, there's a little O-ring. And I got that O-ring from Goulet Pens, and I think they're specifically for the Preppies. And then I just put ink in here, and it works really well. I had once one that started to leak. And so then what you do is you just put a tiny little bit of silicone grease. So I just took some of my Twisby grease and just put a little bit on the thread, and that did the charm. But this, in combination with Cornaline d'Egypte, dreamy, wonderful. And what was extra special is that this Cornaline d'Egypte, let me show you the little thing here. So this is, you can see it has amazing silver shimmer, and it's an orange, and you can see the shimmer here at the bottom. And look at this bottle. I mean, look at this bottle. Sorry, I'm getting carried away, but it's amazing. So this was one of the very first inks I got, and I wanted to love it. And I don't remember what pen I had it in, and I didn't like it very much. And I was like, what? And then I put it in this Preppy, and I was like, oh my God, I love this ink. I love this ink. So now I absolutely love this ink. And I have had it in other pens. And so thank you, little Preppy. So that was a surprise to me. And then it actually, and I took out the little note, I'm recording this a second time. The next one that was totally surprising is another Preppy. It's my little red Preppy. Don't ask me. I don't entirely understand why this made the cut, and I loved it, and I wrote with it for a while, and there we are. It's another medium, exactly the same thing, just in red. And the color, that was another one that just blew me away. So the color, and that was in an ink flight, is Colorverse Kingdom Series Tang Pyong. I hope I spelled that right on here. And it's this purple. And for some reason, this is not a color I love. But when I wrote with it, I loved it. I actually just ordered a full bottle of it. There's something about this that I just love. It's a little dry. So I actually also just ordered some White Lightning. So I'm curious to see how it does with some White Lightning. It was a little temperamental depending on which paper I was writing with. But I really liked it. Like, love this color. And another wonderful Preppy. And then here, as you can see, doesn't flow anymore. And then I got it going again. But I loved this ink. Then the next one, another surprise that I love here, is the Opus 88 Minty Orange with an Architect Broad from Pen Realm. That's another one that Kirk Spear did, with Robert Oster Cafe Crema. And this is another color that I'm very surprised that I'm liking it. And you can even see here, it says, this color is really growing on me. And pen and nib is top. So juicy and so fun to write with. Nice when it flowed again, but was really dried up. So this is the one thing with this pen. If I don't write it for too long, it does dry up. And especially Cafe Crema was a little temperamental in that respect. But when it was working, I really liked it. And I love this pen. I really like this pen. It's an eyedropper. It's an Opus 88. I love the nib, another Broad Architect nib. And it was just such a pleasant writing experience. And then I have one more, and that one made me happy. So it's actually not right what says here, but this is my Kaweco student in the 70s soul with a broad nib. And this one has a converter, a Kaweco big converter. And this was one of the first fountain pens I got. I love the aesthetic of it. I love this vintage kind of look. And I remember getting it and not liking it at all. The nib felt awful. It didn't flow. I was so disappointed. And then I put my Cornaline d'Egypte in it. And it was a total perfect combination. I mean, look at these two together. And so that totally made me fall in love with this pen again. And it's made me just really, really happy. So this is my really, at least to me, very unexpected lineup of my favorites. So let's see what we have here. So we had Cafe Crema. We had Colorverse Tang Pyong in my little red Preppy. Then we had Cornaline d'Egypte with another Preppy and this Kaweco student. Then we had Ama-Iro, no surprise, with my Leonardo. Then we had, let me see, I'm hoping this is still going to be in the video. We had Ferris Wheel Press Stroke of Midnight with my Twisby 580 Iris. And then, of course, Dominant Ginger Chicken with my Pelican M200 in White Tortoise. I hope that was fun. I mean, look at this weird lineup of pens. This is blowing my mind. Anyways, so that's what it is. That's were my favorite combinations until I looked only until end of July. I hope you enjoyed this and let me know if there's anything else you would love to see.